Mercedes encountered an immediate setback to Formula 1 pre-season testing in Bahrain, limited to the lowest mileage of any team on the opening day and facing bigger than usual consequences as a result. Valtteri Bottas managed a single outlap in the new W12 before the car developed a gearshift problem which necessitated a precautionary gearbox change. That kept Mercedes and Bottas off track for roughly 3 hours, limiting Bottas to only 6 laps before the lunch break, while teammate Lewis Hamilton added 42 laps in his 4 hours in the car and wound up only 10th fastest. The gearbox problem, which came out of nowhere according to team boss Toto Wolff, made for an uncharacteristically dramatic first day of testing for Mercedes. It means the rest of the test is going to be more critical for the team and even harder to execute as it would like. To put Mercedes' loss into perspective, its main rivals completed more than 250 kilometres while the W12 stayed in the garage having the gearbox change, the team worked out what went wrong and what solution was required to resolve it. But it was already a full Bahrain Grand Prix distance behind the busiest team AlphaTauri at the point Bottas rejoined the track for some systems checks and aero correlation runs. By the end of the day, the picture looked even worse. Chief rival Red Bull completed 139 laps, while Mercedes fell short of even reaching half a century. It's also interesting and not necessarily a coincidence that not a single Mercedes team managed to reach 100 laps. But the ultimate benchmark to compare Mercedes to is itself, and this was its worst opening day of pre-season since the first year of the V6 turbo hybrid era. Back in 2014, a front wing failure meant Mercedes couldn't complete any more running after Lewis Hamilton's early laps. But that test was so shambolic for its opposition that Mercedes' 18 laps of Jerez ended up the second highest tally of the day. Since then, only the rain-hit opening day of 2018 comes close to this year's tally of just over 250 completed kilometres, while last year Mercedes enjoyed its best opening day of a test ever, clocking 3 times as much running as it did today. As F1's benchmark team in this engine era, it's odd to see Mercedes suffer the first major setback, and this season is an even worse time than usual for that to occur. In recent years, testing has taken place over 6 to 8 days in Spain, but that's changed to just this single 3-day test in Bahrain for 2021. So while mileage is always at a premium in testing, now track time is scarcer than ever. So the 90 or so laps lost to Red Bull, for example, is a lot of time for Mercedes to lose from establishing correlations with new aerodynamic concepts, validating engine reliability, plus whatever Mercedes had set aside for performance investigations and understanding the change in Pirelli's tyres. The other consequence is on driver seat time, as Mercedes has planned to split its running between Bottas and Hamilton every day. So Bottas has effectively lost 1/3 of his available testing allowance and will head into the season opener less comfortable and less well prepared in his understanding of the car and crucially the new tyres. This isn't a crisis for Mercedes, but it is a significant setback. And while the specific consequences are no different to any stoppage in any other year, the condensed testing schedule for this season means they probably hit the team's programme harder than usual. Bottas even admitted towards the end of the day that Mercedes seemed to have made a mistake by not holding a pre-test shakedown. In fact, Mercedes was the only team running its new car for the first time in this test itself. After identifying the failure and committing to the gearbox change, Mercedes rejigged its run plan and expressed the hope it could gain that mileage back later in the test. That's not an unreasonable aim given extensive running was likely to be limited by the teams being restricted to 30 sets of tyres for the whole test. But run plans are set a long time in advance, sometimes weeks ahead of testing, and they are tailored to what teams need to prioritise for various departments. And it's not like Mercedes came out the block in the afternoon and immediately started to recover time. Its massively restricted Friday programme would have barely scratched the surface of what it targeted, and this also fits into the wider picture of what the team wanted to achieve from the test as a whole. Some items will probably have to be sacrificed, even if Mercedes remains optimistic it can adapt in a way that the team ends the weekend with as much running as it initially planned. And in reality, Mercedes will need 2 extremely busy days to get through everything it had originally targeted. In previous years, Mercedes has lost half days and chunks of running to various problems, including an oil anomaly in 2020 that caused the engine to shut down, yet it still ended comfortably atop the mileage charts. That will be harder to achieve this time round as there are fewer days to offset the mileage deficit, and this problem occurred at the very start. In the past, Mercedes has had an ultra-productive testing program in the bank already. But knowing what Mercedes is capable of, we'll probably be back here soon declaring what a brilliant second day the team has had. So do you think alarm bells should be ringing, or are you expecting little impact on Mercedes' quest for an 8th title? Let us know in the comments below, give this video the thumbs up if you liked it, and join us again tomorrow for more of our coverage from F1 testing.